Testing 1, 2, 3.
Welcome, welcome.
All right, Dr. Kennedy, from the top.
Yes, of course. Good evening and welcome, scholars, to another awesome session that we're getting ready to participate in. I just want to, well, we're already at 6:35, just giving your peers a few minutes to hop on. While we are waiting, we're going to hop right into it. But while we are waiting, just a reminder of our expectations as you guys are here. I remind you guys for each and every class, and you guys are awesome about this. But making sure those cameras are on. We want to make sure that you are engaged, right? You can drop your comments in the chat. You can definitely unmute, but we want to make this a very engaging experience. Tonight's class is going to be awesome, but it's also going to be what you make it. So that's why we truly encourage for you to become active. If you have questions or you have something you want to share, please unmute, drop it in the chat. It will definitely make tonight more interactive, and that's what we want for everyone, right? Also just want to say, just push yourselves beyond what you guys have done during the previous classes. We do want to see those opportunities for growth, right? Step outside your comfort zone, and only you know what that is, but challenge yourself so that you not only leave tonight with this awesome information and knowledge about baking basics, but that you also put in the work to become a better version of yourself. So we're going to hop right in because I want to definitely touch on the end of project, like our project that's due at the end of our time together. If you have any questions, I'm definitely going to leave some time at the end of tonight's session so that we can chit chat about that. So everybody is all on the same page and we all understand what the requirements are. So with that being said, I just want to hand this over to Chef Michelle Johnson. This is not her first time with us. We anticipate and we welcome Chef Michelle coming back and definitely interacting and being with you guys and teaching you about baking basics. This is hands-on, just like our class last week. So I hope you guys got well, I know you did because we sent that information out, got your ingredients so that you're able to be hands-on with Chef Michelle as you guys talk about and also work on baking basics. So with that being said, I hand it over to Chef Michelle.
Hi guys, how are you today? How y'all doing? I'm so excited to see y'all. I mean, I can't see y'all, but I'm excited to see y'all. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I don't know who all is on, but if you can, real quick, if you just take yourself on mute and just say your name real quick so that I know everybody's name and who's on there. Real quick, just unmute and say who's on.
I'm Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. How are you?
I'm Hannah.
Hi, Hannah. How you doing?
I'm Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
I'm Naina.
Naina?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Naina. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I think that was 4. Was that 4?
Yes,
Okay.
that's all we have.
Correct.
That's all we got.
right
Great.
now.
Okay, no problem. All right, guys. So we are here to talk about baking basics. I'm not sure if you've ever baked before or your experience with baking, but either way, hopefully it'll be fun for you. My name is Chef Michelle. I have been baking for well, my son didn't like cake, so I had to find a different kind of cake. He likes sweet potato pie. So I've been baking since he was about maybe like 5 or 6 years old. He's in his 20s now. I didn't start getting into cookie baking until about 8 years ago, cookies and cakes and things like that. And I recently received my associate's degree in pastry arts. And because of the way the program went, I took a lot of culinary, but I love baking. And so I just wanted to tell you guys how excited I am. A little bit about me, besides all of that, I'm a wife, mother, I own a salon, and one of my things that I am excited to do and want to do is I would like to open a salon / cafe. My favorite things to bake is cookies and bread. I love baking those. I love the different types of cookies that we can make. We're going to make a basic chocolate chip cookie today. I'm excited about that, but let's get into some things of what we want to talk about. The purpose of this class is to provide an overview of baking basics. It says almond twills. I thought I changed that, but you know, sometimes the computer does what it wants. We are baking chocolate chip cookies today, and we're going to use the drop method. And if you don't know what a drop method is, don't worry about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to be excited about it. And I want you to, like Chastity said, Miss Kennedy said, please don't be hard on yourself. If you've never baked a cookie, if you have baked a cookie, either way, I've been baking for a while, and sometimes I get some things. And so I want you to be, I want this to be fun for you. So I hope you guys got all of your stuff, all of your ingredients. And so I want to talk about the essential baking ingredients. Flour, which provides structure in pastries. You have pastry flour, you have cake flour, you have all-purpose flour, and you have bread flour. They may say it in different ways. Like you may see a bag of flour that says high gluten flour. It's basically a bread flour because that's the highest form of gluten that you can have when you're baking. Sugar, you have all kinds of sugars. Sugars add sweetness, flavor, and coloring. Eggs thickens, emulsifies, builds volume. It stabilizes and provides color and flavor. One of the things I'm not an egg eater, believe it or not. I don't eat eggs for breakfast like the normal person. I know that sounds weird, but I don't. For the eggs, like when you put eggs into the baked goods, oh my goodness, it tastes so good, and it just adds so much flavor and color. Butter and oil, they add flavor, richness, tenderness, and structures to cookies, cakes, pies, and pastries. Now we have some leavening agents. I don't think I have my video on. I do have video. I don't think I'm gonna skip the video today, but I want to talk about the leavening agents. We have baking powder, and baking powder causes things to rise like higher. And baking soda causes the structure of the baked good to spread. For this particular baked good, we're going to use baking soda because baking soda makes it spread, and we don't want like a biscuit cookie. We want a nice, I don't know if you like thin cookies, if you want those big cookies, a crispy cookie or a chewy cookie, whatever kind of cookie you want. We're going to try to make sure that you get that cookie using the leavening agent of a baking soda today. Okay, I want to get through this so that we can kind of have some fun. All right, so mise en place is a French term that we learned in school, and it means everything in its place. So before I got on, I tried to make sure that I had everything measured out, that I had all of my ingredients in line the way that I'm going to bake it. And so your hair should be out the way. I know you see me with my hat on. I have like this big old bouffant hair, so I had to kind of move it back. And you don't want anything in your way while you are baking. So if you have a ponytail hold or whatever you have, just kind of like, you don't want to you want to make sure you're clean because you want people to eat your cookies, and you want your parents to try it, or you want to try it. You don't want to eat hair. If you have an apron, put your apron on. I have my chef coat on. I have my hat on, and most importantly, during this time, everything should be room temperature. I cannot express that enough. It cannot be cold unless it calls for it. Like if you're making a biscuit, or if you're making like a scone, that's when it calls for like a cold ice butter or cold ice water. But for like a cookie that you want to do, a chocolate chip cookie, a peanut butter cookie, or a snickerdoodle, you know, those kind of things, they require room temperature for the cookie and the structure to be okay. I've tried other things. I've made mistakes of putting things in a refrigerator or whatever the case may be, and it doesn't come out as great as it needs to. So everything should be room temperature. And most importantly, another important thing, hands must be clean. Now today I'm going to wear gloves because my hands have color on them, which is not a good thing. They teach you not to have color polish on. So I have gloves today in order to mix my cookies. I'm going on a trip, so I had to get my nails done. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that if you have, it really is a good idea to make sure your hands are clean and make sure that your nails are not colorful. And if they are, wear gloves, because as I said, we want to be sanitized, and sanitation is what's very important when you are cooking for yourself and other people. Okay? All right, we're moving right along. Measuring accurately. We measure in metric units, and we measure with grams because grams are the most accurate when you are measuring in your for your baked goods. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is my scale. I have a scale because I probably got about 4 or 5 of them. I don't know why I have 4 or 5, but I do. I think you just get excited and just buy if you see the next new thing. So with this, I don't know if anybody knows how to use it. So we're just going to put it on. So I turn this on, and what I have is, if I have to put a bowl on top of it, the bowl is going to give me a weight. You see how I'm holding it, and I don't know if you can see the number, but it says it fluctuates. And so what I would need to do is hit the tare button, and when I hit the tare button, it goes to 0. So that's how you would measure the baked goods accurately. Can you guys see this? Just let me know if you can see this scale, this food scale. And we would go to mold, and mold would take me to grams. And so you would measure your ingredients with this thing, if you have a scale. If you don't, we can always use cups, measuring cups, which this would be a measuring cup. This is 1 cup. If it calls for a cup and a half, then you would use this cup, and you would get a 1/2 cup of a measuring cup. And then you would use measuring spoons, okay? And so these are different sizes. Got the 1/4 size, a 1/2 teaspoon, a teaspoon, tablespoon, 1/2 tablespoon. So all of these would be important for you to have when you are measuring your stuff accurately. Listen to me. Eye measuring will not do, because you can really, really mess yourself up if you try to like, well, I think it's this. So the difference is that when, I know y'all did cooking last week, right? And so with culinary, you could kind of like do a little pizzazz, add a little this, add a little that, but that's what they used to do. But in baking, you can't do a little this and do a little that. You have to make sure that your ingredients are measured correctly, because if you do not, you're going to have something. I did it before, and I was in school and I was taking a test, and I added, I think I wanted more brown sugar because I felt like the recipe didn't have enough, and I had a flat, hard, crispy 1 cookie. It didn't even have no structure. It was so crazy, and that was for my final. So I learned more than anything that just because you want more sugar means that you have to now up the ingredients of everything else. So just in case you decide I want more sweetness, or I want more butter, then you're going to have to up your ingredients to everything else so that everything balances out. That's the main thing for measuring when you are baking. So tools and equipment, I went over measuring cups and spoons, mixing bowls, whisks are important. I feel like everybody steals my whisk. And then, you know, I have a spatula. This is for the stirring, baking pans, parchment paper, cookie trays, all of these things are what you would need for your equipment to bake accurately. And if you do not have a hand mixer, if your ingredients are at room temperature and you have a good arm, this spatula works just as good. So when I get a little, I'm gonna say I get a little lazy, I don't want to pull out my big old stand mixer and I don't want to mix anything. I will use my spatula and it comes out so nice and smooth. Now it takes a little longer because you have to make sure that you are mixing the ingredients nicely so that it can mesh well. And when it bakes, it's not an imbalance with it. So if you got a good arm, like I said, you could take this thing, but you would have to really stir it. I use a stand mixer. I have a KitchenAid, and I use the flat beater in order to mix what I need to mix. Okay, so your tools and equipment are important. I use a sifter for the flour. Some people do, some people don't. The sifter is very important because it sifts out the big portions of flour that you see. You see those clumps when, I don't know if anybody like took the measurements and looked at the recipe, but when you pour the flour out and you just pour it in there, if you don't take this and sift it, you're gonna have chunks of flour and you don't want that. Parchment paper is important because you want your cookies to spread out evenly and you don't want to burn your cookies. You can get a non-stick pan. This is a cookie tray. This is my cookie tray. This is what I'm using today. I'm going to use this because I'm only going to make, I think this makes maybe 1.5 dozen, depending on how you want, how big or small you want the cookie to be. That's totally up to you. I'm leaving that up to you. Okay, I did that. Okay. All right, characteristics of a cookie. So we got crispiness, we have softness, we have chewiness, and then we have a spread cookie. Crispiness is when the cookies are crisp because they are low in moisture, high in sugar. Remember I was telling you I put a lot of brown sugar, so I didn't do the high fat, but I did the high sugar. So I didn't even get the crispiness, I just got burnt cookie. So it's important that, as I said, if you want to have more sugar, then you're going to have more fat, which is butter, or if you're using shortening, use shortening as well. You want to bake long enough to bake in the moisture, because now that you have a higher sugar content and a higher fat, it's going to take a little longer to get you to that crispiness that you want, depending on how you want it to be. If you want it to be a light cookie, if you want it to be a soft cookie, like the soft cookie, you would have to have a high proportion of liquid in the mix, and you have low sugar and fat. Under baking, it keeps the cookies soft as well. I don't like it too soft because that means that I'm going to taste the egg. And I told you I don't like egg. So I like it to be in between, which is the chewiness. I love a chewy cookie. I love a cookie that I could just, and it's, you know, it's nice. It's just right. And then you have the spread. High sugar content increases the spread of the cookie, okay? And so with this recipe, we have regular pure white sugar and we have brown sugar. So that's the amount of sugar, and it's going to spread the cookie. We want the cookie to spread depending on how big you want the cookie. I also use a cookie scooper, an ice cream scooper, sorry. An ice cream scooper to scoop the cookie out. If you want to do a double, you know, a double scoop and you want your cookie to be big, that's totally up to you. I want you to be creative in what you're doing. So if you want a big cookie, you don't have to do 12 cookies. If you want a half a dozen cookies, or if you want 3 cookies, you do whatever you feel like having today, and make sure you have some ice cream with it. Okay, so we have the methods of mixing. You got the one stage, and that's where you put everything together at once. Once again, even if it's just everything together at once, it has to be room temperature. Please remember that. Okay, we're going to use the creaming method today. The creaming method, once again, room temperature, but you have to do it in a certain order. You got to put the fat in first, which is the butter. I have my butter. And so that is what's going to go in first. And then once the butter is nice and soft and creamy and all down to cream, flat cream, then I'm going to add my sugar, which is the white sugar and brown sugar. And I'm going to mix it until it's light and fluffy. Yes, light and fluffy. If you got to do low speed, medium speed, make sure it's nice and fluffy. Then we do add the eggs and liquid. In this particular case, we're doing vanilla extract, and we're going to add that, mix the eggs and liquid in, and then we're going to sift the flour in and mix on low speed until just combined. Now in my flour, I have my leaveners already. I already have my baking soda and I have my salt in the flour. The baking soda, so it's like a cheat code right now. Whatever the measurement of the baking soda is, 9 times out of 10, that's the measurement of the salt. So with this recipe, half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt. How many people actually have their ingredients? Can you just either raise your hand or take yourself on and say me, me, me? Who has their ingredients? No one?
I do.
Good.
You
Okay.
got, yeah, Nicole and Hannah both raised their hand.
Oh, great. I'm sorry. I can't see anything. I'm so sorry. Then we have the sablage method, and that's the 2 steps. You mix the dry ingredients with fat until the mixture turns and resembles sand or cornmeal. And then you mix the moist ingredients in. Now, I put that is the sanding method, and that can be done with cornbread. So with cornbread, you mix the dry and the wet, but you just mix it until it's a crumbly, because you don't want a smooth mix with cornbread, because you still want texture with the cornbread. Sponge method, that's for like sponge cakes. So if you're doing like a chiffon cake, those kind of methods, and you whip the eggs, whole yolks or whites, and you can split the egg up, you can separate it, and then you'll get that spongy kind of cake. So there's so many different types of cookies and things like that. We're gonna skip that right there. Making sure that we have all of our baking pans, like I said, mise en place. Make sure that your oven is on. Your oven should be at 375. I have my oven on. I have to go get my parchment paper. It's over here. So I guess I wasn't mise en place. Cookies are baked at high temperatures. Low temps increases spreading and may produce hard, dry, pale cookies. So we don't want it to be below 375 unless the recipe calls for it. There's some recipes where they say do 350. When you're using, and the other thing is, before I forget, I'm using all-purpose flour. You can use all-purpose flour. You just have to sift it a little more. So if you got pastry flour, that's great too, because pastry flour will make the cookie a little lighter. So you want to make sure that your oven is on, because you're going to do the mix pretty quickly. And you want to make sure that the oven's on, because once you're done putting the cookie together, then you're going to have to put the cookies on the cookie tray. So everyone has their, I'm going to stop sharing. Everyone has their recipe list, right? Because I want us to get to the somewhat fun part. Okay, I'm trying to stop sharing. All right, everyone got their okay.
Now, Michelle, there you go. You completely stopped sharing.
That's what I was trying to say. Woo! All right. So does everyone have their, well, whoever has their baking stuff, are you guys ready to bake? Do you have your recipes? You do? Okay. Did you look over your recipe? Okay. So tell me what you have. Anyone, please tell me what you have. Real quick. Real quick. I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
Well, I have everything. The sweet and semi-sweet chocolate chips, the granulated sugar, brown sugar, my mixing bowl, my eggs, my butter, all at room temperature.
Awesome. Awesome. And okay, so you have your cookie tray and you have your parchment paper. Great. All right. I know the crazy. So we're gonna get into it. Y'all want to stand up with me and we're gonna do this together. You ready or you nervous? You ever baked before?
Yeah.
Okay. So can we do it together? I'm gonna do it with you. I promise. I'm gonna turn the camera towards my cookie, my mixer. Is it towards the mixer? Oh no, it's towards the mess.
Nicole and Hannah, I noticed both your cameras went off. You guys, there we go. They were transitioning from where they were sitting to the kitchen. Okay.
Good. So I got my little mixer here, and I'm gonna. Remember what I told you? I'm gonna put my gloves on.
Hey, Olivia, have you made it to the kitchen yet to turn your camera on?
Hi, Liv.
Hello, I'm going to the kitchen right now. I'm in the kitchen.
Right.
Hi.
Right, guys. We are about to bake some cookies. Y'all can see my mixer. And I'm putting my parchment paper down and I'm getting my scooper. All right, so we're gonna start with butter. Okay. And here's my butter. Can y'all see my butter? Are you using your hands,
Yes,
or do
ma'am.
you have a mixer?
I have a mixer.
Okay.
I'm gonna mix it with
Okay. All right, you guys ready? We're gonna do this together. You ready? All right, we got the butter. So we're gonna put the butter in. All right. I said you're gonna turn the mixer on and you're gonna put it. As I told you, it don't have to be high.
Do you put the whole thing in?
What you say, babe?
Do you put the whole thing in?
Yes. Did you measure it out? So
It's 8 tablespoons.
So for the butter, you need 5 ounces. So I think a stick of butter is 4 ounces. So you're gonna need a stick and maybe a little bit of the second stick, okay? And that'll give you 5 ounces. Do you have your recipe in front of you?
You said what?
You have your recipe? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand over here because
No.
I get to see y'all a little better. Can y'all see me? I'm trying to make it so I don't. All right. So once everybody put your butter in, we're gonna mix together. Okay? You ready? All right. So important is the spatula. You see my spatula? Sometimes the butter or the sugar, it gets kind of high. So you want to take your spatula. I don't even know where the camera is. You want to take your spatula and you want to move the butter down because you want every goodness that you are putting into this bowl, okay? You want every piece of goodness. You want all the butter. You want all the sugar. I would say mix it for like 1 minute. And it should be nice and smooth. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. So it should have this kind of texture. It should have that kind of texture for your butter, okay? Because it's soft. It should be nice and soft, pliable. Y'all good? Yeah? All right. So did y'all measure out your stuff? Let me ask that. I don't think I asked it. Y'all measured out everything?
No.
Okay, that explains. But that's okay. So the granulated sugar is 4 ounces. So it would be a half a cup. Okay. So you're going to do a half a cup of granulated sugar and a half a cup of brown sugar. Do you have measuring cups? Okay. On the side, it should show you what's the measurement of the cup. So this one is 1, and it should have a half on there. You see the side? Is that a half a cup or 1 cup? Half? Okay. So fill that up because that's what you need for the white sugar and the brown sugar.
Does this go in the butter?
I'm sorry, you blurry. What you say, babe?
I
I
said,
can't see.
does this sugar go in the butter?
Yes, ma'am. We're going to put it in the butter. We're going to do it together. Did you take a half a cup of the white sugar?
Yeah.
Okay. So a half a cup of white sugar and a half a cup of brown sugar. And when you have it, you can put it inside of the bowl. I'm pouring mine inside. Because I was like, what is happening? How you doing over there, Hannah? You good? Yeah?
I'm a little nervous, but yeah.
Okay. It's okay. We're good. I'm nervous too, Hannah. You should have saw me before I got up here. We good. We doing good. And we doing good on time too.
Do we mix it? Like, do we mix it all together?
We're gonna mix the sugar and butter. So we ready to mix? Everybody got their sugars?
Yeah.
Wait, let me see if y'all got all of your ingredients. Do you have the salt? Did you measure out the salt with a half a teaspoon?
No.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is let me do that first before we continue to mix. It's okay, it's not gonna mess it up. So if you have a bowl, right? I need you to get your flour and you need a cup and a quarter of flour. Okay. So a cup and a quarter of flour with the measuring cup. Remember the measuring cup? Don't use that liquid one because that's for liquid, what you have. So use your measuring cup. If you have a cup, and then you need a quarter size. So remember on the side, it should show you 1/4 of a cup and then 1 cup. I even got a measuring cup that got the numbers up here because my other ones, it was kind of like, this is kind of light. So it ain't really got no, you got to squint to see it. We're not going to put the flour in the mixing bowl. We're putting the flour in a separate bowl. We're putting the flour in a separate bowl. Okay? We're going to do 1.25 cups of flour. And y'all let me know when y'all done with that. Do you have measuring spoons? Okay. So do you pick up your measuring spoon? I want y'all to look at the measuring spoon for me. And so in this area, they should have the number. So for this one, it says 1/2 tablespoon, but you need 1/2 teaspoon. So this would be the 1/2 teaspoon. You see that one? It's 1/2 teaspoon. Is that 1/2 teaspoon or a tablespoon? That looked like 1/2 tablespoon.
Teaspoon.
It's 1/2 teaspoon? It looks so big on camera.
Oh, it look little in person.
It do. It looks so big. Okay, so 1/2 teaspoon, and if you have baking soda and salt, we're gonna use 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and we're gonna put it in the flour. So put it in the flour. And remember, the flour's in a separate bowl. I have everything separate for right now. I got the chocolate chips separate. I got my eggs separate. Well, I mix the eggs with the vanilla extract. That's something my teacher taught me to do. I feel so close.
You said mix the 1/2 of what?
1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of salt.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And make sure everything's room temperature. Is everything room temperature?
Yeah. For the eggs, you said 3 ounces and 90 grams. How much eggs is that?
So 1 full egg and 1/2 of the egg. So when you crack it, just kind of like squeeze it out until you with this, unfortunately, you may, unless you have, do you have a measuring? Do you have a scale? Okay, if you don't have a scale, it's fine. No big deal. So we gonna you crack the egg and just squeeze 1/2 of the egg, the second 1/2, okay? And remember, if you are with the egg, the higher the fat content, the chewier it is. So if you don't really like a chewy cookie like me, you're all right.
How many eggs do we need?
You need 1 egg, 1 full egg and 1/2 of the other egg. My big old candle is in the camera. You guys doing good. How you doing, Nicole?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to melt my butter right now.
Do you need a separate bowl for the eggs and the flour, or do you put it in the flour?
Nope. Put the eggs in a separate bowl. Everything's separate. So put the eggs in a separate bowl. See, my eggs are in a separate bowl. My flour's in a separate bowl. My chocolate chips are in a separate bowl. And I had and then I even had a little bowl for garbage. I had my butter separate too. You don't want to put nothing together yet. Everything is separate. So you got 1 full egg and you're going to squeeze 1/2 egg. Okay. And so we did the butter, we did the sugars, we did the salt, the eggs, the flour and baking soda. We need a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, a teaspoon. So that's 1 TSP. And I'm only saying that because let me tell you, I have done some serious measurements. I have done a tablespoon on a teaspoon, and that is not cool. But I like vanilla extract, so I'm like, hey, let me put a little more, a little vanilla. But measure accurately. Don't be like me. So this is a teaspoon, and make sure you do your vanilla extract. I usually like vanilla bean paste. I just think it makes everything taste better. But it's all preference for me. It's all preference. So do we have the vanilla extract? You measured it out? Okay, so everything should be measured. You should have the butter and the sugar in the bowl, in the mixing bowl, right? And then you should have the salt, baking soda, and flour in a bowl together. Here's what I want you to do with the baking soda, flour, and salt. I want you to take a spatula just with this, okay? Just with the flour, baking soda, and salt, and I want you to stir it, and I want you to count to 20, okay? You can use a fork too, but the whole purpose of this is so that you can make sure you mixing the salt, the baking soda, and the flour together, because that's where that's your spread. Remember we talked about spreading the cookie with the baking soda? So we're gonna stir that in the flour. Livia, you heard me? Nicole, you said something about your, oh, she left. Oh, I'm sorry. She have a problem with her butter, she said. I was trying to find out what happened.
I'm not sure. I'm sure she'll log back on and send us a message.
Okay, no problem. All right, so y'all stir the flour, baking soda, and salt for 20 seconds. Yep, count to 20. I know it sounds silly, but we want to make sure all the ingredients are together. Okay? And Chef Michelle likes cinnamon. You don't have to, but I put a little bit of cinnamon in my flour because I just like cinnamon. Like I said, it's just me. And then you got your chocolate chips. So the whole bag of chocolate chips is 10 ounces, right? In that bag. What's your measurement? Yep, it should say it on the bag, on the bottom and the front. What does your measurement say for the chocolate chips?
10 ounces.
10 ounces. So you're going to use that whole bag. But do me a favor, put that bag in a bowl because everything needs to be separated. Don't keep it in the bag. Yep. Because that was the measurements for the chocolate chips. That is the very last step.
Mine is 12 ounces.
So just most of the bag and leave this much in the bag because then that would, unless you like a lot of chocolate chip. If you do, who gonna tell you that you can't have a lot of chocolate chips in your chocolate chip cookie? That when I was talking about measuring chocolate chips really don't matter because some people like more, some don't like a lot. So some people may use 5 ounces. Nicole, how we doing, honey? I heard you say something happened with your butter.
Yeah, I'm mixing everything right now.
Oh, not yet. What you mixing? What you mix already?
The sugar, the brown sugar, and the regular sugar.
Okay, did you put the butter in?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, all right. We're about to do that with her. Okay, guys, let's do the mixing. We're gonna mix the brown sugar, the white sugar, and the butter. And we're gonna mix it until it's light and fluffy.
Wait, could you repeat that? What are we mixing?
We're gonna mix the butter and the white sugar and the brown sugar.
Okay.
And we're gonna mix it until it's light and fluffy. It has to be mixed together well, okay? And remember to have your spatula. Because you're gonna push down anything that's still sitting on the side. So I'm pushing mine down because I want all of this to mix in together. Because I want me a good cookie. And I want my kids to like my cookie too. Keep mixing. It should take about 3 minutes. How y'all doing? Yeah. I see you over there dancing, Nicole. I mean, Hannah. You want them chocolate chip cookies, don't you? I dance when I'm doing something good too. Make sure all of your butter is mixed in. Sometimes the butter, like mine, the flat beater got some of my butter. So that's what your spatula for. Your spatula is your friend. Please use it. Make sure everything is blended. When it comes to this is the most important part because you want to have a good cookie. How's it looking, ladies? How you doing, Nicole? How you doing, Liv? Good? Hannah dancing, so she good. Is it looking mixed well? Okay. Don't move on to the next step till we move on together. I want us to make sure we get a good cookie. Okay, please. All right, how's the mixing looking? So I'm bringing my thing over so y'all can see my mixture. All right, am I seeing it? All right. Can you see my, there we go. Can you see my mixture? So is your mixture looking like that? Okay. Do a little more. All right, we're going to the eggs and the vanilla. Remember I told you I put the eggs and vanilla in the same bowl? All right. So let's put the eggs and vanilla in now. This is the another part of the fat. Okay? And the flavoring. And you're gonna mix this low because it's an egg. And you don't want to cook the egg. We're just trying to mix it in. Try to keep a neat space while you're doing it. I know it's hard, right? Don't forget your spatula, push it down because sometimes it doesn't go down. You got to use your spatula, use your tool, okay? How y'all looking? Looking good? Now it may be a little jiggly. Does it look a little jiggly to you? The egg, it's okay that it looks a little jiggly because this is where the structure is going to be added. The flour is going to add the structure, okay? So it's okay that it looks a little jiggly. Don't get nervous. I know that it can be a little weird looking. But now that we're on to that part, does everybody have their flour, baking soda, and salt mixed together? Nicole, Nicole, did you mix your salt, baking soda, and flour together, sweetie?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So we're going to pour it in slowly. We're going to turn our mixer on and we're going to pour the flour in like a running water. Make sense? Okay, so we're going to pour it like a running water. We don't want to dump it in, okay? Don't dump it in, but kind of shake it and let the mixer mix until it's all out of the bowl. Once again, if you have to push down because you want to make sure the flour mixes in. Sometimes the flour gets a little on top of everything. Take your spatula and mix it down. Push it down. It's okay to stop and push it down. Don't worry about rushing. Push down again because I know some flour has gotten up. Y'all see flour coming up on the sides and on the top of the spatula? Just push down. You should have a nice, pretty dough. Nice, fluffy cookie dough. It don't have to be hard. It's gonna be pretty. Don't overmix. Once it's mixed, let me see. That's the other thing that I should have told y'all. Don't overmix. You don't want to have a hard cookie. You're not trying to make a bread. We're trying to make a nice cookie. I'm gonna show y'all what my dough looks like as soon as this. Sorry for the noise. Trying to get my dough. Make sure you get all your dough. Because I want you to, once you're done mixing, I want you to take the bowl off the, if you have a stand mixer, take it out of the stand. So your cookie dough, there you at. Your cookie dough should look like this. Can you see the cookie dough? You see that? It should look like ice cream. You know how ice cream, that soft serve ice cream? It should look like ice cream. You see that? Can y'all see this? That's how your cookie dough should look. Is that how your cookie dough look? Right. Hannah, that's how I look. Yes. Nicole, can I see your cookie dough, please?
Mine's a little darker, so I'm not sure if you can see it. I think the lighting's really bad in here.
The lighting is bad. Yeah, that's okay. But your cookie dough, it looks like ice cream, like soft serve. Okay. Look. So, oh, here we go. There you go. I see you. All right. So you have your chocolate chips, right? So we're going to stir our chocolate chips in. We're done with the hand mixer and stand mixer. We're going to stir the chocolate chips in. So pour your chocolate chips on top. And I want you to turn it into the cookie dough. Because when you make your cookies, you want to make sure that every cookie has chocolate chips in it. That's if you like chocolate chips. I don't know if y'all like nuts. I had put nuts on that, but my kids don't like nuts, so I couldn't use any. I probably should have did half of the recipe with nuts and half without. So your cookie dough should look like that. You see how the chocolate chips just sit down and say hi to you? Now, who has an ice cream scooper or just a regular spoon? You have a regular spoon? Okay. So tell me how big y'all want y'all cookies? Or how small? Do you want mini cookies or you want a small cookie? You want a medium? What kind of cookie you want?
I would do small.
You'll do small? Okay. Well, however big you want your cookie, I'm going to show you how I do mine. This part right here is totally up to you, how you want your cookie to look. If you want a big cookie, fine. But here's the thing about it. Whatever you decide you want, everything has to be the same size. So if you say you want a small cookie, then you have to do them all small. If you want big cookies, then you have to do them all big, especially if you want to cook them on the same tray, okay? Because if you do big and small in the same tray, they're going to cook unevenly. So I'm putting you by my stove. Oh, the what's the name? And I'm like, why is working out that way? There we go. I think it's this way. There we go. All right. So I'm just gonna start layering my cookie. Putting my cookies in. I'm using an ice cream scooper because I just like to. Make sure when you're putting your cookies on the cookie tray, y'all have y'all cookie tray and a parchment paper. Yes. Make sure when you're putting your cookies that you spread them. So if you're doing it in a row, try to spread them evenly in like threes. Don't have them too close, else you're going to have a cookie cake. We don't want a cookie cake. We want cookies. And yes, your dough should be nice and soft. It shouldn't be hard, okay? It shouldn't be liquidy, but it shouldn't be hard. And the other thing is, depending on how your oven cooks, because the minimum time is 10 minutes. But if your oven cooks fast, don't go to 14, try 12. I try to hit the middle because my oven cooks really fast. Okay? And while the cookies are baking, we just want to talk about how you felt about it real quick. How you felt about the cookie, or making the cookie, I should say. B6 now. Now I got a dozen. I got more than a dozen, but I got a dozen on this sheet. This is my medium tray. So I got a dozen. Can y'all see my tray? I want to see the pretty trays. Let's see the pretty trays.
Is there
Can I see the,
is there a specific way we should shape the cookie?
look, but no, just take your spoon. Look, this is the drop method. Look, you see? You take your spoon and you just put it down. It's just the drop method.
Oh,
Yep. There you go. How many did you get on your tray, Hannah?
Well, I want my cookies to be big, so I put 6 for right now.
I know that's right. You got ice cream? That's why you were dancing. How you doing, Nicole? How many cookies did you get on your tray?
I actually make them pretty medium, so I only got 4.
Okay. However you want them. It's up to you. However you want them. How about you, Liv?
sorry, I can't unmute. So far I only got 6.
That's okay. It doesn't matter how many you get. Just make sure they're even, right? And y'all have your oven on? Ovens on? Okay, if you're ready to put your cookies in, if you have a timer, you can put your cookies in. I'm gonna put mine in. I usually put mine on 12 minutes because my oven cooks fast. Whew. And I know this is not the day to be putting the oven on, right? Because child, it's hot outside. Jesus. But, we're going to have some good cookies. And you're not going to fit everything that's in the mixing bowl on your tray unless you make another tray. So don't worry about that. You can make the rest of those later. And if you want to put those away and freeze them, you can wrap them a container that's airtight. I usually wrap mine in Saran wrap and then put it in a plastic bag and then just date it if you want them for later. Or if you want to make more, you could do that too. So how'd you feel, Hannah? Because you look like you got your cookies in the oven.
Yeah, my cookies are in the oven. I'm just cleaning up right now, but I feel good about it. I baked before, but like not cookies, like brownies, cinnamon rolls, banana nut bread. Like for cookies, I've used like Betty Crocker, but not like from scratch. So I was
Okay.
kind of nervous about it, but I feel like they came out good.
Yeah. Yeah. You won't be buying Betty Crocker no more. You're gonna go and get, you're gonna be like, look, I don't need no Betty Crocker. Good. How we doing, Nicole? How'd you feel?
It was fun.
Yeah. Cool. You put it in the oven?
Yeah.
You got ice cream?
No.
That's just me. I like ice cream, so I just think everybody do. Liv, you put yours in the oven? I think she did. All right, I hope you guys have a timer on so that your cookies don't over, you do? Remember the minimum is 10, the most is 14. So if your oven cooks slow, then you just at 12 minutes, look at the cookie. If you have an oven light, turn it on and look at it. If it cooks fast, look at it in 11. Did I show y'all the sifter for the flour? They're fun. How you doing, Liv? How many cookies did you put in the oven?
Huh? 16.
Okay, you had a big tray. I'm fine. So you have a lot of cookies. And like I said, I have cookie dough left. Do anybody have cookie dough left? If you have saran wrap or if you don't want to make them tonight. Okay, no problem. No problem. Just send pictures of how your cookies came out, okay? Please. If you don't want to make no more tonight, just put some, wrap it in saran wrap. Take it out of the bowl though. Also, if you have a spatula for your cookies when they're done, make sure you have this type of spatula after they cool so that you can get them up with this. Anybody smelling their cookies yet? I am. Woo. Coming out good. Do you have an oven light so that you don't open the oven? Don't open the oven. You're letting air in. Your cookie won't come out good. I'm done, Chef Dre and Chastity. I'm just trying, Miss Chastity.
All righty then. Awesome.
I'm just want to see how the cookies come out. I would love
Yes,
to.
definitely. We have a few minutes. We can wait and see. I know it doesn't take long.
No, I have 5 more minutes. How many more minutes you guys have?
I have 5 more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, right. We put out at the same time. You have 4? Okay. Okay. Liv, how many minutes you got? But she has more. You eating the dough? I wish I could eat cookie dough.
Honestly, I did my big one with this one. This dough good.
It's good. All right.
Stop eating that.
It tastes good.
You know what? While you're baking, clean.
Yes. Good idea. Good idea.
All right. Everyone has the
Anthony
same amount of time.
Five more minutes, guys. And then I want to see y'all cookies. Thank you guys for baking with me. I love to bake. You guys did good. Real good. Hannah looked like a professional. You like a professional, Hannah. And so do Nicole. She like, I'm just waiting for them to be done so I can just taste it. You want to make sure it tastes good? Yeah, it's chocolate chip. I told my daughter what I was making. She doesn't eat chocolate chip. I don't think she's really my daughter because I love chocolate. I don't know where she comes from.
You can have this. Close it, please.
You eating the chocolate chips, Hannah?
Chef Michelle,
Yes, ma'am.
can you use granulated? I mean, can you use sugar in a raw sugar instead of granulated sugar?
Yes, you can.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
You just have to make sure if like if you do like just like you could replace anything. You can replace the egg with like applesauce or half a banana.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do it whatever. Well, you have to make sure you have the right measurements. But
Yeah.
yes, you can do sugar in the raw. I've done it with the sugar in the raw.
Yeah.
If you don't want the white sugar.
Yeah, because I haven't had white sugar in my house in probably like 12 years. So we get some.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, no problem. You can even like if you like brown sugar, you could have used double brown sugar, but it just would come out darker.
No, that's fine, but it's so good. The flavor is good to the dough.
Yeah, because it's not a lot of sugar. It's not. We didn't like this was a very minimal sugar thing because you don't want to have a lot of. You don't want to be too sugary. You want it to be like flavorful more than anything. So I have 2 minutes. Anybody got 2 minutes? I think you're almost done. Nicole, yours is done? I would love to see y'all cookies.
We got
Those are big. Wow. They're pretty though. They are so pretty. You want to try? Well, wait till they cool off. Don't bring them out. Don't be like me. I eat them when they right out the oven.
we got 4.5 more minutes.
4.5? Okay. I have 2 minutes. Hannah, you almost done? You have 2 minutes too? Okay. Mine is 1 minute left and then. Wow, she had nice size cookies. I don't know why, but I like light skin cookies, but my teacher told me that it's supposed to be dark skin. I don't know. Like I said, how you want it baked, it's up to you. Chewy, soft, crispy, however you want it. To cool your cookies off, if you have a cooling rack, it has holes in them. Let me see. Because you gotta let them cool off in the. There goes mine. So this is my cooling rack. After you're done with your cookies, or you're letting them sitting for about 5 minutes on the cookie tray. All right. Okay, these are mine. So they came out nice and crispy. You see the cookie? Yeah, it came out pretty good. I did mine kind of like, I think I got 12 one here.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a tip for like to keep the parchment paper down? Because while I was baking, the parchment paper flipped over and kind of messed up one of my cookies. Do you have like a tip for that?
I usually buy sheet tray parchment paper, because did you have the roll-on one? You had the one that you rolled, that you had to rip. So I usually do this one. You see this one? It just fits on the tray, and so it's just small enough to hit the medium tray. That's all. Because I know sometimes, or if you have the roll one and you just bought that and your mama not gonna buy you another parchment paper, take some scissors and measure it on the cookie tray so it's not too big. Let me see how your cookies look. Oh yeah, it didn't mess it up. That looks good. It didn't mess up. That look good. Nice and round. Nobody got a cookie cake? I mean, one cookie. You got multiple cookies. It's good. Nicole, did you taste yours yet?
No, but I'm about to.
Let me know how you like it. All right, oh, that look good. That looks so good. Yeah? All right. Good recipe, right? Mm-hmm. I should have made mine big like yours. Very good.
Let me get off mute. Awesome job, everyone. These cookies look good. I know we're still waiting for right? I know, right? Just like that.
If anybody would like to share a cookie, save me one.
Yeah, you can have some. I think I'm gonna put this up. I'm not gonna make all these. Wow, you're on the second one. Look at Nicole. Look at Hannah. Wow.
Yes.
It's good.
To enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Amazing.
They look really good.
Those cookies look really good.
They do. They look like, and they're nice and structured too, however they wanted them. Wow.
Y'all don't have to eat them like that on the line.
I mean, you really don't.
Hey, look at Nicole. She ain't right.
Everybody camera is on.
Of course, everybody
Hannah dancing.
Right?
Hannah, you dancing? I bet you it tastes better than Betty Crocker, don't it, Hannah? Okay. Hannah Crocker. Almost done, Liv? Good.
We're waiting to see your cookies, Liv. Let's go.
Wow, look.
All right, there's the real taste test when you get somebody else to taste them. All right, Nicole, what did she say? Is that a thumbs up, thumbs down?
She's my hater, so she said it was decent.
Of course. Little sister.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
why.
Little sister.
That's what they do, right?
Not a hater.
Not a little hater.
Has she did she stop eating the cookie?
Right.
Then the cookie was good. See.
Right.
I know how
Y'all
little sisters work.
Y'all making me eat my cookie. See? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, Chef Michelle got that store-bought circle. Look
Know
like
what I
it's
mean?
coming straight out of that soft batch box.
That thing is good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Chef Dre,
Got
that's
my
a good
mouth
cookie.
all ready for some chocolate chip cookies, and it's only a swallow left in the container. I mean, Chef Michelle's gonna get that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
All right. Well, while you guys are enjoying your homemade cookies, when you're done, in the chat, I do have links for the evaluation for this course. I also have another link for the short quiz that you'll take related to some of the information that you guys are presented with this evening. And while you guys are taking care of that and enjoying your cookie, this is also an opportunity for you guys to ask any questions that you have about the end of the session projects that are due coming up for our next session. Are there any questions that you guys have about your projects? No questions? Can I make the assumption that everyone understands, have decided on which project they're going to do?
It is
All right.
due Thursday, just so you know.
All right, quick check-in while you're doing all of the things, filling out the evaluation, the quiz, and eating your cookie. Just state real quick, what's your choice? Are you doing an itinerary or are you recording yourself creating a dish?
For me, I think I'm gonna record myself making a dish.
Okay. All right. I won't ask what dish, right? But just making sure, oh, excuse me. Just making sure you read the requirements that are connected to that assignment, and making sure that it's, doesn't have to be the first take. You can do it a few times so that it's nice, professional, and something that you're proud to present. Okay. Did we lose Hannah? Oh, she did say that her laptop might die. Okay, Olivia, what's your choice?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay. So definitely read the descriptions for both of the projects. You can either create an itinerary where you design a dream vacation, right? And with that, you want to have a presentation. Make sure you have visuals for us. Make sure when you do present that it is well rehearsed, not something that you're doing that day. We want to feel like you took some time and effort to sit down and really think about what you're presenting. Make sure you have, like I said, the visuals, your itinerary, including your flight time, the airport, the codes that you guys learned about in one of the previous classes, and just, what are you doing throughout the days that you're out there, right? Do some research, really figure out what are some of the hot spots that tourists go to, or even some of the local spots, right? Sometimes you go on vacation, you don't always want to go where the tourists are. Sometimes you want to experience the actual life of the people who live in the destination that you're visiting. So keep that in mind. Chef Dre, if you have anything to add about our final projects. If not, like I've always stated, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We are here. Even if you need help deciding which project you need to embark on. Right, Olivia? I know you said you're not sure right now, but today's Tuesday. Okay, so technically, you only really have Wednesday to get it together. So I would really brainstorm today and spend that time tomorrow to make sure you present something that you're proud of and something that we can tell is rehearsed and have, the effort is there. We don't want to feel like it's a last minute project that you're putting together. All right, because all this is taken into consideration when we're sitting down thinking about that top scholar. We think about all the things, okay? So all this is definitely something that we consider. Let's see, did everyone get a chance to finish that evaluation and quiz? I know we usually say drop a one, but it's just you two here. I don't know what happened to Hannah. Nicole, are you done with your quiz and evaluation?
I'm up to the quiz.
Okay. All right, so I'll let you go ahead and do that. If you don't have any questions, when you are complete, you are free to drop off. Just let us know, right? Just give us a little thumbs up so we know that you're done. But I'll stop talking so you guys can do your quiz. Thank you so much, Michelle. Each and every time, it's a hit. Next time, I'm gonna have the ingredients because the way that y'all was tackling those chocolate chip cookies today, you know what? Next class, I make sure I'll have these ingredients together. Number one,
Please,
very
Yes,
easy,
I'm
right?
participating next time.
please
I need
do.
cooking.
Because I'm about to get me another one right here. I'm sitting there like, that's why I asked if you have ice cream, because I feel like I got a butter pecan in there, you know what I mean?
A cookie ice cream sandwich
I
happening.
mean, it's going to happen tonight. It's going to happen tonight.
It's going down tonight.
Y'all.
It's going to happen. I'm sorry.
Enjoy. It's really good.
Absolutely fabulous.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate y'all. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much,
Appreciate
Michelle.
you, Chef Michelle.
Have a
All
good
right.
one.
Thank you as
Take
always.
care.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. See y'all later.
Thank you
Have a
again.
good night.
All right, Nicole and Olivia, feel free to use, I don't know, whichever one you're comfortable with as far as PowerPoint, Google Slides, Canva. These are some of the things that you can definitely consider when creating and developing your project for Thursday. Okay, we have high expectations, if you don't know right now.
I know I already said that I want to do the like the cooking, like the video one, but I'm like, I think I'm kind of like, sorry, I was like kind of like interested in also like the travel one too.
Okay. I guess you can sit down and brainstorm and just kind of feel out which one you're gravitating to, like which one you will feel most excited to talk about. Because we need to see that too, right? On Thursday, we want to feel the excitement that you have, whether it's the recipe or the itinerary that you're presenting. So let that kind of lead you, right? Which one are you more passionate about?
I just finished the quiz and yeah.
Any evaluation? So you're all done? All right, then you have a great night. Thank you so much and see you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday. Bye.
Take care.
I just finished the quiz.
All right, so evaluation done, quiz done?
Yes.
Okay. And we're thinking about, we're brainstorming tonight and getting ourselves together tomorrow for our final project on Thursday.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, then.
Appreciate you, Liv.
Have a great one.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Are you still recording?